I was 14 years old, angry, fierce at my parents. It was a Friday after school, and I wanted to ride my bike with my friends at the local skate park. My father would not let me. I did not understand at all. I would not take no for an answer. I begged and begged until he finally yelled at me, "Go, get out, do what you want." And I left. And out of another act of rebellion, that same day, I smoked my first cigarette. This was the start of it all. 14 years old and already on the road to addiction. This first cigarette would turn into the worst decision I had ever made in my life. After I inhaled my first breath, I knew I had already gotten addicted. And it was so good. Over the years, cigarettes would turn into weed and weed into other substances. In my speech today, I will inform you on the difficulty of overcoming addiction. Drug addiction, it brings people, in my own personal use, to their worst. Addiction is one of the most common illnesses here in the US, and over 40 million adults suffer from it, about 18% of the population. The short-term effects of addiction can vary depending on substance and severity. Some people react to drugs very differently, and some, well, as accordingly. For example, you have the loud drunk compared to the emotional drunk. Same substance, different results, but different substance, same addiction. It's very key. And for a long time, addiction was looked at as a crime. But in recent years, medical professionals have tried to advocate for addiction to be looked at more as of a health concern rather than of a criminal concern. And depending on most drugs, now I'll get into some of the shorter term effects of these drugs. Most drugs will leave your system between 2 to 5 days, and the half-life, depending on the drug, meaning half-life is half of the carbon of footprint of that drug being left inside of your body would indicate its half-life. So, for example, benzodiazepines have a half-life of 72 hours, so therefore that would be in your system for 72 hours. So some of the longer-term effects can range from self-induced coma all the way up, from like withdrawal all the way up until self-induced coma. For many of these drugs, including benzodiazepines, some of the longer-term effects are scarier than the shorter-term effects. For example, benzodiazepines and alcohol are the only two drugs that can actually kill you from stopping taking them cold turkey. So it's very important with these two drugs to be very cautious when stopping them, because you can give yourself seizures, heart attacks, strokes. It's a very critical time. So I urge anybody who actually is struggling with these sort of issues to go out and seek help and not do it alone, because you will actually hurt yourself more than actually helping yourself. And it's a big catch-22 for a lot of drug users, because why would you want to stop using if you know you're going to get a seizure? And that's a big, big dilemma. And it takes a big step for you to want to get out of that sort of situation. For many people, including myself, I wanted to do it alone. But sadly, it doesn't work always that way. It takes hours of thought and people banging ideas in your head to finally understand, okay, I have a problem and I need to do something about it. As one who has experienced all of these side effects, I actively urge people to seek help when in need. It's not worth hurting yourself any further than you already are to try to, than it is necessary. I mean, the help is there, go for it, get that help. It is a long and difficult road to sobriety, but the outcome is definitely worth it. If you or anybody you know is struggling with addiction, I would definitely recommend just visiting your local Alcoholics Anonymous. They have a ton of resources for you there that will be beneficial for you or anybody who you may know that may be suffering with this sort of illness. I hope that you have learned some new information today that you can go home and take with you and pass along to other people who are especially possibly struggling. And as you have learned, it is very difficult and a scary process. People should be less biased towards drug addiction, and I believe more people should seek help. I hope you learned something valuable here today, and I hope you can carry some of this information out in your life. Thank you.